running 6.48 in the 60 to open up the indoor season and put on top of that, doing that into a 2-mile-an-hour headwind is super impressive. And really how Kishane Thompson did that is what is even more impressive. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down his most recent 60-meter 6.48. And what we're seeing here is, and what makes it really unique with Kishane Thompson is just how fast he's able to get down the first couple steps here. And again, I think that it's great. I've looked at the numbers already. He does such a great job of getting out in front right away. And I think that the shin angles end up being very, very important. I don't have a great view to be able to see it from this side, but we could see here how he's getting into this very forward shin angle, which is, I think, critical. That's 168, like 20 degrees, I would say, is around where he's at, 19, 20 degrees. And this just allows him to cover so much distance. And you can see how that's a big focus for him. But what's really impressive, typically when I see people that go and are trying to get much more out, have that really low heel recovery, is a lot of times we'll see them end up spending a little bit more time on the ground. Even somebody like Xavier Worthy, when he ran that 4.21, a lot more out, but also spent more time on the ground. Kishane Thompson is still very, very quick. His third step here, it was a 0.13 foot contact time, which is very, very impressive to be able to get that far out in those first 3 steps while also maintaining such a great foot contact time. And really, I think how he does this is he gets a lot of lift very early on. I know a lot of times we end up going and having the hips staying down a lot more, but you could see he's very high up in his hip position very early on into the race. He's still forward, but I think that the cue is such a great cue where it's like you really want to be able to get your hip out in front of your foot the best that you can. So when you're landing, you're really landing in a position where your toe is right underneath the hip to the best of your ability. And I think he does a great job of doing that, which makes it so then he could have that great foot contact time. And again, it's unique because of how he really doesn't have a ton of range in his leg cycle, right? So we'll see a lot of guys that will, like Usain Bolt is a great example where he's getting a ton of extension. We could even see here a ton of extension in the front side, right? Getting into this position. That's not what we're seeing from Kishane Thompson. Watch what he does. He's going much more just straight down. So he's not really getting very much outwards with his motion. He's just so quick with how he's cycling his legs under 0.3 or like 0.3 leg cycle, which for him is just really, really good because of his height. So typically what you'd see for somebody like him with his size, you would see closer like a 0.35 leg cycle. But again, he's just very, very quick with the turnover. And a lot of it has to do with how early on he was able to get his hips up and through. Again, you could see first like 7 steps, he's already basically straight at foot strike, which is, again, a very, very unique thing. And that's what makes it so now he could have a very quick foot contact time. So what do we want to do is we want to work on just being able to, I think, most importantly, start off with those great shin angles. Okay, so his first 3 steps, he does a great job of getting out, right? Prioritizes out for 3 steps and then gets right into kind of lifting up. So we can see 1, 2, 3, right? Gets those 3 steps down, all of them very, very quick, all of them fast foot contact time. But already, even within this 5th step, look at how extended he is. Look at how upright his hips are. Again, look at like here, just not in that same type of position. Okay, and so Rohan Watson here, he ended up running, I want to say it was a 6.7, somewhere in there, but it was 31 steps. Kishane Thompson, 29.5, almost 29. Really, you could say it's 29. A lot of them were averaging around 31 steps, 30 to 31 steps, somewhere in between there, where he was at. Again, you could really say 29. I don't say 29 because he was a little bit before, but if you look at the end, like this is his 29th step. And again, he's like kind of easing up again as he goes through, but that was 29. So he's basically at 60-meter, 29 steps. That's super, super impressive to be able to do. A lot of times, I'll even say for like the 60-yard dash, you want to be able to get that in 30, 31 steps. You can get it under 30 steps. You're in a great spot for the 60-yard dash, not the 60-meter, right? 60 meters more distance. And again, he got that in 29, which is really an impressive feat, again, because of how fast he was able to get upward. So if you can take anything away, I know a lot of people want to watch this to say, okay, what can I learn? How can I take something and apply it to what I'm doing? First 3 steps got to be horizontal. Okay, look at these angles here. Okay, 25 still, even at this 3rd step here. And then as you get through those first 3 steps, now we got to start lifting and start landing with this leg straight. Again, this is very unique, very challenging to be able to do, but this makes it so then he translate that horizontal force into vertical force very, very quickly, which makes his acceleration so unique for somebody that is as big as he is. His height is actually 6'1", and his weight is 187. That's what they have online. And just for context, Noah Lyles, 5'10", 154. So he's 30 pounds heavier, 3 inches taller, but is able to accelerate. To me, he's probably a better accelerator than Noah Lyles, and a lot of that has to do with what he's doing in those first few steps. So make sure that you have a great understanding of what you want to be working on within the first 3 steps and how you want to transition from that acceleration into that drive phase to make it so you're able to really maximize your speed overall and be able to run some great indoor times. I think that there's a lot of great things you could take away from Kishane Thompson with how he's taking that horizontal force and applying it to vertical force and really maintaining that drive phase for a long time because of that. Even as he's finishing, he's still very, very forward because he just put a huge priority on getting his hips all the way up and through to make it so then he's able to really maximize foot strike, really maximize ground force into the ground. At the end of the day, it's all about how can we more effectively strike the ground? How can we more effectively create force into the ground? And this is a great strategy that Kishane Thompson's doing to be able to do that. And I highly recommend, if this style relates to you, being able to implement it, because it will really help you in being able to get into that drive phase and stay in that drive phase for a lot longer. So if you're struggling with that drive phase, or you're struggling with at the end of the race feeling like you're running out of speed, a lot of times that has to do with your ability to accelerate and the effectiveness of your acceleration. It's not top speed endurance. I know a lot of people want to be like, oh yeah, you just need more top speed. It's not top speed endurance. It's how you are accelerating. It's your quality of acceleration. If you accelerate better, then you will hit your top speed later on. If you accelerate for longer, that's really the key thing here. I mean, even with Kishane Thompson, if we were able to get the split times, we'd be able to see he's accelerating 40 meters, 50 meters. He's not at his top speed, even at like the 50-meter mark. He's just getting into his top speed as he's crossing the line. And that's really what you want to be able to do. As much as he's upright very early, he's accelerating that whole time, and understanding the key fundamentals of the drive phase of the acceleration will make it so you can run faster and make it so you can avoid the myth of top speed endurance. Again, if you are struggling at the end of the race, look at your acceleration, look at the quality of your acceleration, and start to work from there, and then be able to apply that to your ability to get to your top speed, and you will get much better times. As always, if you like the information, click that thumbs up down below, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to check out some of the other things that we offer, some of our other videos, you can check out the description, and we have a ton of great things for athletes looking to understand how to be able to run faster, get a better understanding of their mechanics, and get a good look at what they need to work on in order to improve their mechanics. So as always, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.